Discussion and debate. Building an argument. Unit 3. Task A. Read and discuss. Listen to the reading and follow along in your textbook. The reading introduces the topic and some of the key ideas you will need to develop your argument. As you listen, think about your own views on the topic.
As author Sahidi Sedekam said, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of someone else. This means that before we enter into a relationship, we have to learn that our own happiness and well-being should not depend on who we are in a relationship with. However, some believe that self-esteem can only be developed through feeling loved and appreciated, through external validation. Psychologists say that we humans have a lifelong quest for belongingness and self-worth, and we often seek to fulfill this externally instead of developing it within ourselves. The truth is, being single provides an opportunity for introspection essential for self-development. When single, we are able to nurture ourselves, and this pays off. Being single is liberating and a call to be more productive. It is a time for setting and accomplishing goals and making healthy choices. We develop independence and self-reliance. Further, studies suggest that single people tend to build larger social networks, strive harder for a healthy self-image, and pursue the ideal self. While being in a relationship may give us a sense of security, knowing that someone genuinely cares for us, we experience more personal growth as individuals. What we accomplish as individuals enhances self-reliance, without which we lose more than a sense of belonging should relationships fail. As Abraham Lincoln said, "It is difficult to make a man miserable while he feels worthy of himself."
Task B. Comprehension check. Consider each question and use information from the reading to develop your response. Think about how these ideas could be used to support either side of the argument. Task C. Vocabulary building. Complete the vocabulary activity. Pay attention to how each word or phrase is used, as you will be encouraged to use this vocabulary when you present your argument. Now check your answers. Task D. Useful idioms. Complete the idiom activity and check the meaning of each expression. Consider whether any of these expressions could be used naturally in your argument. Now check your answers. Then take the vocabulary and idioms quiz. Task E. Discussion language. Study the discussion language and complete the activity. Practice using these expressions to help you structure and communicate your argument clearly. Task F. For and against. Listen to both model arguments and follow along in your textbook. Notice how each speaker states a position, develops reasons, introduces evidence, and uses the language from the unit. Consider which arguments you find most convincing.
Being single offers many advantages that are often overlooked because society places great pressure on people to marry and start a family. However, I believe that being single is often the better choice. One reason is that it gives people time for introspection and self-discovery. Without the responsibilities of a relationship, people have more opportunities to reflect on their values, goals, and future plans. This is primarily due to the fact that they have more freedom to make decisions for themselves and pursue what truly interests them. Another reason is that being single helps people develop independence. According to clinical psychologist Dr. Jenny Teitz, being single provides an opportunity to discover your purpose and develop as an individual. She emphasizes that learning to enjoy being single can help people build a fulfilling life without depending on a romantic partner for happiness. This supports the idea that developing autonomy before entering a relationship helps people stand on their own 2 feet and become stronger and more confident individuals. Finally, people who are single have more time to nurture their talents, pursue new experiences, and enjoy the liberating feeling of making their own choices. Achieving success through their own efforts often brings a deep sense of fulfillment and improves their self-esteem. Although relationships can be rewarding, I believe being single is the best time to grow into a confident and independent person.
Although being single has some advantages, I believe that being in a healthy relationship offers greater benefits. One reason is that close relationships provide emotional support and a sense of belonging. Having someone to encourage you during difficult times makes challenges easier to overcome and successes more meaningful to celebrate and share with someone you trust. Let me explain why. Everyone experiences stress, disappointment, and uncertainty at different times in life. Facing these situations with the support of a caring partner often improves both emotional well-being and confidence. Another reason is that healthy relationships improve physical and mental health. According to psychologist Dr. Leslie Becker Phelps, people in supportive relationships are generally healthier and better able to cope with stress. She explains that strong emotional connections can provide reassurance and help people manage difficult experiences more effectively. This expert perspective shows how supportive relationships can contribute to greater emotional stability and resilience. Finally, successful relationships teach people to compromise, communicate effectively, and support each other's goals over the long term. Spending too much time in solitude or complete isolation can leave people feeling lonely and disconnected from others. For these reasons, I believe strong relationships help people live happier and more meaningful lives.
Task G. Comprehension check. Answer the questions about the model arguments. Identify the speaker's positions and evidence, and practice challenging one of their points. This will help prepare you for the rebuttal task later. Task H. Springboard. Read the quotation and consider how it relates to the topic. Introduce the quote and explain what it demonstrates. Consider whether the quotation could be used to support your own argument. Task I. Exploring evidence. Complete the evidence activity. Each unit introduces a different type of supporting evidence. Consider how this type of evidence can make an argument more convincing and how you could use it in your own argument. Now check your answers. Then take the evidence type quiz. Task J, supporting an argument. Develop a reason for your position and support it using the type of evidence introduced in this unit. This will give you practice connecting a reason with relevant supporting evidence. Task K, gathering data. Study the infographic and identify information that could support either side of the argument. Consider which facts or data would be most useful for supporting your own position. Task L, building an argument. Now bring together what you have learned throughout the unit. Choose whether you are for or against the discussion statement. Use the Building an Argument page to state your position and develop 3 clear reasons, supported with relevant evidence. Use the evidence type introduced in this unit once in your argument, and identify your sources by giving the author or source title and the date. Where appropriate, try to incorporate the discussion language, vocabulary, and idioms you learned in the unit. When you have completed your notes, use them to record your spoken argument and post your recording to the Spoken Argument Forum. Do not simply read your notes, use them to help you explain your argument naturally. Finally, listen to another student's argument. Choose one point they made and record a rebuttal explaining why you disagree. Thank you for your efforts this week. See you in the next lesson.